It's 11:43 p.m. The house is finally quiet. The blue light of your phone screen has faded, and your head hits the pillow. This should be peace. This should be rest. But instead, the projector flickers on. Suddenly, you are back in the break room at work from 6 hours ago. You hear the tone of your voice when you made that joke that didn't quite land. You feel the heat rising in your neck, a phantom blush in the dark. You see the half-second micro-expression on your friend's face. Was that boredom? Was that judgment? Your stomach tightens. Your shoulders brace against the mattress as if preparing for impact. You begin to edit the scene. I should have said this. Why didn't I just stay quiet? They must think I'm an idiot. You replay the tape, again and again, dissecting every syllable, hunting for the mistake that proves you are unsafe. You aren't just remembering a conversation. You are putting yourself on trial for existing. If this nocturnal courtroom sounds familiar, I need you to hear this first. You are not broken. You are not obsessive, and you are not crazy. What you are doing, this relentless forensic analysis of your social performance, is not a flaw in your character. It is a high-functioning security system. It is an intelligent survival adaptation designed by a nervous system that learned, somewhere along the way, that social errors are dangerous. This is the paradox of rumination. You do it because you care deeply about connection. You crave belonging so intensely that your brain tries to perfect it by analyzing the past. Yet, the very act of replaying these interactions pulls you out of the present moment, creating anxiety that makes future connection even harder. This isn't overthinking. This is a safety protocol. Your brain believes that if it can just find the error, if it can just figure out exactly where you went wrong, it can prevent the pain of rejection from ever happening again. It is a shield made of thoughts, trying to protect a very tender heart. To understand this, we have to distinguish between two types of mental replay. There is constructive reflection, which is looking back to learn and grow. It feels like curiosity. Then there is defensive rumination, which is looking back to punish and protect. It feels like shame. Most people who replay interactions are trapped in the latter. It is less about doing better next time and more about managing a chronic sense of social threat. Let's look at the data. If you relate to 5 or more of these signs, your nervous system is likely trapped in a hypervigilant social freeze state. 1. You physically cringe or wince when remembering a minor awkward moment from years ago. 2. You frequently draft text messages in your notes app before sending them. 3. You feel exhausted after social interactions, not from the talking, but from the performance. 4. You assume silence from others means they are angry or disappointed. 5. You have a hard time believing compliments, assuming they are just being polite. 6. You rehearse conversations in the shower before they happen. 7. You feel responsible for managing the mood of everyone in the room. 8. You apologize for things that are clearly not your fault. 9. After a gathering, you ask a partner or friend, "Was I okay? Did I talk too much?" Why does your brain do this? We have to look at the architecture of your skull. When you replay an interaction, you are experiencing a tug-of-war between your amygdala, your threat detection center, and your prefrontal cortex, your logic center. In a secure brain, the amygdala flags a social mistake, and the prefrontal cortex says, "It's okay, everyone is awkward sometimes, move on." But for you, the amygdala has hijacked the station. It views social rejection not just as uncomfortable, but as a life-threatening biological risk. This is the savannah theory of evolutionary psychology. Thousands of years ago, if you were rejected by the tribe, you were exiled to the savannah alone. You died. So when you perceive a social error, your brain floods with cortisol and adrenaline. You enter a state of hyperarousal. But because the threat is in the past, you cannot fight it and you cannot flee from it. So you freeze, you ruminate. You are stuck outside your window of tolerance. Your brain is looping the tape in a desperate attempt to synthesize dopamine, the reward chemical, by solving the problem. But because the past cannot be changed, the solution never comes, and the loop tightens. This script was likely written long before your current job or relationship. We have to look at the blueprint. Chronic social rumination is often a hallmark of an anxious, preoccupied, or disorganized attachment style. Perhaps you grew up in a home where love was conditional. Maybe you had a parent who was emotionally volatile, fine 1 minute, explosive the next. To survive, you had to become a detective. You had to learn to read the micro-expressions of your caregivers to predict the weather in the living room. You learned that your safety depended on your performance. You learned that if you were good enough, or quiet enough, or funny enough, you could prevent the chaos. This is often linked to the concept of the fawn response. You didn't fight back, you didn't run away, you tried to please, you tried to merge. So now, As an adult, when you replay a conversation, you are that inner child checking the atmosphere. You are scanning for the invisible landmines you used to have to dodge. You are trying to retroactively perfect your performance to ensure you are still lovable. So, how do we stop the tape? We cannot think our way out of a problem created by overthinking. We have to sense our way out. Here is the protocol to turn this armor into agency. Level 1. The biological interrupt. Micro movements. When the replay starts, do not argue with the thought. Instead, change the state of the body. The temperature shock. Splash cold water on your face or hold an ice cube. This engages the mammalian diving reflex and forces the parasympathetic nervous system to slow your heart rate. Orienting. Look away from the screen or the ceiling. Slowly turn your head and name 3 red objects in the room. This tells your amygdala, I am here, I am in a room. There is no lion, there is no exile. Level 2. The script override. You need new language to disrupt the loop. When the shame spiral begins, speak to it directly. Instead of, I am so stupid, say, I am feeling a lot of social anxiety right now, and that makes sense given my history. Use the so what technique. Okay, maybe I was awkward. So what? Does that make me unworthy of love? No, it makes me human. Level 3. Long-term integration. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. The false belief that everyone is watching us as closely as we watch ourselves. They aren't. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer used the metaphor of the porcupines. On a cold winter day, porcupines crowd together for warmth. If they get too close, they prick each other with their quills. If they move too far apart, they freeze. Social interaction always involves getting pricked. It is unavoidable. The goal is not to be a smooth, perfect, quillless creature. The goal is to tolerate the occasional prick for the sake of the warmth. Imagine a deep lake. On the surface, there is a storm, waves crashing, wind howling. That is your rumination. That is the replay. But if you drop down, past the churning surface, past the noise, the water is still. That stillness is who you actually are. You are not your awkward moments. You are not your stutter. You are the consciousness that observes them. The fact that you worry this much about how you treat others proves that you have a kind, conscientious heart. The world needs that heart. It just needs you to stop beating it up. If you recognize yourself in this video, I want you to comment below. What is one small thing you are going to forgive yourself for today? Let's fill the comments with permission to be imperfect. You are valid. You are worthy, even when you are awkward, and you don't have to do this alone. Thank you for watching.